Hello, my name is Lucas, this is Bit of Lit, and I'm here to talk about Virginia Woolf's Three Guineas. Earlier this month, actually, I read A Room of One's Own, which is a really fantastic essay that's also kind of fictionalized and feels like a speech, but also like a piece of fiction, but also like exploratory nonfiction of a kind. Virginia Woolf is becoming one of my favorite authors. I'm slowly getting through all of her works. And I'm really enjoying everything she's written. I enjoy her short stories. I enjoy her fiction. I am enjoying her nonfiction. Three Guineas is more nonfiction. It's quite long. It's got 3 parts. And each guinea, or of the 3 guineas, in each section she discusses where she would send 1 guinea, to which treasure, under what stipulations, for the advancement of, abolishing war. This very anti-militarist book discusses fascism, which Virginia Woolf has talked about in A Room of One's Own, and in this as being sort of the peak of male behavior, in a sense. This was published in 1938, so before big advancement of World War II was beginning, before the most of World War II began, or happened. Sorry, getting a little bit lost. Where was I? What was I saying about the book? Anyway, so it does talk about fascism anyway. She has some examples about Italy and Germany in a way, and there are some really great, poignant things that she has to say about the way men behave, even though they act as though they want to stop fascism. The way they act in their own country is in its own way very performative of male behavior. Anyway, she makes this argument about all 3 of the guineas, where they're sent out, they will be all, even though they're going to 3 different treasurers for different groups, all of them will be well spent, because they will all be for the ending of war, as I said. And in the whole thing, she discusses how women, particularly, I think because she was one, educated men's daughters, as she often says, making a clear connotation of the relationship that women had to men, because that is what they had in her time. Especially, I find that she does seem to ignore women that are not as well off. And that is a flaw to it, I suppose. Certainly, it is something that is missing from this analysis of ending war. As great as it is, and as funny as it can be, and as sharp as her criticism is, certainly she uses hyperbole in the right ways, and she does a good job of pointing to written works, and with poetry or biographies or speeches or these kind of things. She does a really good job of pointing at all those and showing how these are indicative of the culture at large and what that means, and the sort of power structure that has men on top and women on the bottom. She does ignore women who are less fortunate in the examples that she gives, for the most part, and exclusively talks about educated men's daughters, but almost exclusively. In a sense, and it could just be me trying to defend Virginia Woolf with this piece of writing, I do think that it's like the women she's talking about, who are the most fortunate in English society of her time have such restrictions on them, financially, educationally, where they can get educated, how they're educated, what education they receive, what jobs they can get, what jobs are available to them, what kind of pay they will get at their jobs, and all different kinds of things, and how she really ties into all of these about why her money needs to go to rebuilding a college, or go to this other treasurer, or go to this other treasurer here, and how it needs to be used and what stipulations. And she does all of this to show just how limited even the most fortunate women are. And so if they have all these severe restrictions, what hope do women who don't have as many opportunities or things available to them due to the fact that they do have money, or at least some connection to money? I do kind of feel like maybe I'm just being a little defensive there for Virginia, because I love her work so much, but I don't know. I really enjoy it. She is as sharp as ever, and she makes some really, really, really strong arguments against the culture she's living in. One of my favorite parts, let me find the picture. She talks about the military and how, she also talks about the education system and basically everything. How the military has men dress up and get awards, and like everything involved with English society of the time is all pointing toward we need to go to war, or we should be ready to go to war at least. And as an example, we've got a nice picture here of some man with all kinds of awards, and she talks about how people dress up real nice, military veterans, generals, and whatever else will just dress up real nice and get these fancy awards and make a big show, and we'll have a large patriotic celebration for them, and it makes war look really clean and honorable in a sense, and attractive in many ways by doing that. And I laughed incredibly hard at this. There was also another really good point. I thought of two more as I was saying that. Hopefully I will remember the second one. Hopefully I will remember the first one, because now I've forgotten. About how in some instances some women do find some kind of success. Educated men's daughters, I should say. And there is a sense that they will not want things to change, or maybe they somehow manage to climb their way up, or claw their way up, and they won't want things to change because the way everything works around them is how they got to where they are. So they're not going to want to let that go because there's so many restrictions, and they've been able to squeak through these barriers. Now they're in a position that is favorable to them, and it would be difficult to convince someone like that to want to make a change because survivorship bias, I suppose. There is some other really excellent part that is now escaping me, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, I think this book is really excellent. It's quite long, but I enjoy it, and I'm hoping that I will find a page that will remind me of what I was thinking about. Sure, it talks about sports. She talks about religion. She talks about sports in a sense, and she talks about a whole slew of other things. And I know I took a picture of it, but it's on my phone. And I forgot I have my iPad. And my phone and iPad are connected. So let's find that part. Oh my gosh, how prepared am I? Okay, oh yeah, she also talks about what kind of patriotism would women have for the country. And I'll just read a little bit of this. Where to begin? She will find that she has no good reason to ask her brother to fight on her behalf to protect our country. Our country, she will say, throughout throughout the greatest part of its history has treated me as a slave. It has denied me education or any share in its possessions. Our country still ceases to be mine if I marry a foreigner. Our country denies me the means of protecting myself, forces me to pay others a very large sum annually to protect me, and is so little able, even so, to protect me that air raid precautions are written on the wall. This is, I believe, the Second World War had started for England at this time, so there would have been air raids. It goes on too, and it's just like going for the jugular. Really excellent analysis, I find. Yeah, there was another thing that popped into my head. I don't really remember now, but it's quite good. I like it, and I recommend it. Thank you.